Oh, here we go. Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Angels and Destiny Show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The excitement of Angel is destiny, and this get my toothpicks here. The meaning of angel is messenger, and the meaning of destiny is to make them established. My guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And of course, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful returning guest, Cristine Gold. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live at a later date, as it means a lot to both of us to connect with like minded people. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Rae, and I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy. And I'm a guide who helps you remember your divine presence so that you can heal your past, find your purpose, create your future, to expand your consciousness, understand your spiritual path, get clarity on your next steps, and take charge of your destiny so that you can fulfill your purpose in this lifetime. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes of your journey. A mini guided meditation, angel oracle card reading, or possibly a reading from Cristine for whoever interacts with the show. Cristine Gold, who is going to be talking about going from corporate burnout to psychic medium. Now, Cristine is a psychic medium, soul purpose mentor, and chaplain who guides empaths, old souls, and sensitives to heal anxiety, unworthiness, and overwhelm so they can embrace their gifts and live their soul's purpose. She is also a Usai Royo Reiki master and teacher, the author of the Spiritual Awakening memoir, Intuition Saved My Life, and the creator of the Oracle deck, The Empath's Journey. Cristine is also the founder of the Soul Healers community and host of the Heart Led Soul Fed podcast. Now, with a degree in business administration and 20 years in sales and marketing, her journey hasn't been without its challenges, from corporate burnout, bullying, and narcissistic relationships to homelessness, depression, and to suicide attempts. Cristine experienced what she calls a spiritual 2x4 to the head, leading her to divine intervention and incredible work she does today as a medium, healer, and chaplain. So, without further delay, hello, Cristine, and welcome to the Angels and Destiny show. How are you today?
I'm very well. And just listening back to you, I'm like, oh my goodness, give this lady an award. That's a lot. That's a lot to read. So thank you.
You're welcome. So before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments and thoughts, as both Cristine and I want to be part of this conversation. So please don't be shy. And I see that Andy is already here, and he says, "Good evening, ladies. Good evening, Andy. Thank you for joining us." Um, so, Cristine, why don't you tell us more about your journey for those who may not have seen you the first time round, and how mediumship is now part of your life?
Oh my goodness. Well, 20% of the population identifies as an empath. And I'll talk about that a little bit more. And really, what that was a response to trauma as a child, reading people. I don't know if there's people out there that like to do people watching. So they're picking up, nuances and they're deciding how they're going to interact with that energy. So I was doing that as a child, but I was also seeing auras and orbs and having visits from my grandparents and having full on conversations with them and then with the animal kingdom as well. So unfortunately, in my family, it was not safe to do so. So I shut that down, which many of my clients do. They shut it down. It is not safe. People get outed. I mean, witches were hung for a reason, right? So
Yeah.
just that kind of a narrative was in the family. So I decided that in order to feel safe, I would try and get as many gold stars as I can and to make sure my mom was okay because she was unfortunately, she was in a lot of abusive relationships, and my dad was absent. So I was looking for ways to make people feel better. And that's another trait of an empath, but that is not an empowered empath, which I'll speak about even more. Quit school at grade 11, never fit into the system, never, never, never fought it my whole way. Wayne Dyer and I's journey, very similar. Um, He's a guide, as well as Sylvia Brown and a few other people, Edgar Casey. These are people that I've followed and I've read, and I've done a lot of work around. But I went back into college as a single parent, and I enjoyed my time. I came out 94% grade average. It's not that I was dumb. It's just I don't fit into a box, and no one really fits into a box. And the school system is changing, thank God, because there's a lot of kids that need specialized teaching. So went into the corporate world, sales and marketing. Many years later, was making six figures. I had everything. I had the car, the house, the boyfriend. Everything looked good on paper, but inside it was a complete mess. I was addicted. I mean, we all have addictions. So smoking and drinking and food were mine. But that was all from suppressed trauma. Eventually, in 2017, through panic attacks and 2 attempts to die by suicide, was delivered a video via YouTube. So never dismiss how spirit delivers a sign. She told me, and no one has ever said this, most doctors will just say, here's a pill for your depression. Well, guess what? Those pills only last so long. I'm not telling you not to take it, but there's plateaus for a reason. And Johann Hari's book, Lost Connections, made huge connections for me. I believe he's a UK author. He's written quite a few books. But she said, my anxiety and depression are highly linked to my intuitive gifts. And you are also most likely medium and psychic, because you're reading into the energy, you're getting messages. But unfortunately, they all manifested for me as feeling crazy, feeling overwhelmed, feeling anxious. So I worked with her for 6 months, did quite a few free readings before I decided to charge, which again, I would say is the curse and the blessing of a light worker or a healer, is we undercharge. We want to over deliver and undercharge. No, not anymore. So that's that was my lesson that I learned through hundreds of readings that I've done. And really, a medium, you're just the bridge between the natural and the supernatural, the 3D to the 12D, if you want to say, if you're looking at levels of consciousness. And all of us have that ability, but many of us dismiss it, meaning we dismiss our gut. So why do we have so many gut issues? Well, that's the solar plexus. That's because you've dismissed yourself so long that you've caused inflammation, but also you've shut down your natural abilities. And it's a muscle. That's all it is that needs to be developed. And that's what I love doing and working with people, is when they figure out, oh my gosh, I'm very clairaudient. I hear things, or I get music and song out of nowhere. And that's how intuition works. It's random. But here's the thing, you got to learn to speak the language of spirit. Keep a book of signs and symbols. You'll start developing your own language with spirit. Whereas ego, the analytical mind, is very methodical. And it usually leans more on the realistic, pessimistic, and negative. Just saying.
Yeah, yeah, no, it does. And I think that's where a lot of people do find, or why they find it hard to, connect with their intuition and everything, is because of the ego mind, because of the way society has been, the way society is, and your peers have been. You're just kind of like programmed like that because we're not taught from children to use it, to expand on it.
Yeah, and I, always encourage my clients, their kids, their grandkids, if they're telling you that they're getting messages from they're being visited by their grandparents, say, sure, honey, tell me more. Or I was on this star system last night, or I believe in aliens. Fantastic. Encourage that, because these crystalline children that are coming in, that are already here, they're already preceded, they're already preloaded to where we are right now. So children are highly intelligent, highly intuitive, and so are animals. And that's the connection. The fact that we're all unlearning. I think this process from 2020 to now, moving into that new earth, a golden age of Aquarius, all these old paradigms and old beliefs and structures are all being dismantled right now. And that's why I'm sure many of us are feeling very off kilter, off balance, don't know where they're going, why they're here. I get it. I do.
Yeah. So if people are, so obviously on your journey you've had to cope with with quite a few things, you know. How would you sort of like say to anyone watching that might have heard and got what you've been saying and go, "Oh my God, that sounds like me," or "That sounds like my childhood." What would be the first sort of like steps that you would suggest really that they take?
Uh, Awareness, being self-aware, and having that conversation, and being open to not knowing all the answers. And I see someone's talking about ego when ego overpowers. Well, that's what happens is most people are running by ego, and ego for me is edging God out. And God is not a person. It is a universe. It is a source. It is the essence of who we are. Ego was blocking my third eye. That's how I describe ego to people. Because a lot of people are like, how do I open my third eye? Here's a hack to open your third eye. Do this. Don't. No, no, it is very simple. It's going back to your inner GPS. Ego is the backseat driver. I would say it's more of the spine. It's your support system, right? It's well, that's balance. But yes, being self-aware, being curious. Remember when you were a child, you would never go, "Oh, I'm not doing that," because someone said, or, "Oh, that's not cool," or, "No, you just go and do it." If there's a puddle, you go jump in it. If there's a hill, you go roll down it. If there's wind, you go fly a kite.
Yep.
When did we stop being curious, being creative, co-creating with the universe? Because that's really why we're here. And knowing that you're a perfect, beautiful child, always have been. And it really goes back to I do a lot of inner child work. That's really because it's all been suppressed and repressed. You get you're not good enough, you're not worthy, we don't do that here, you need to be a doctor or you're out of this house. I mean, there's a lot of that type of messaging. Um, so just be curious, and go with what feels good. That's, a sentiment that, and I'm not talking about, things that are not good for you, things that you would never think of, but you're curious about. You're being led that way for a reason. Don't dismiss it. Don't dismiss it. I have people that come to me, "Oh, well, I've had a premonition that this was going to happen and it didn't. So was I wrong?" No, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about non-attachment. It's just about it letting go and being open to everything and attached to nothing.
Yeah,
Because
no.
and that's with it, with the ego as well. I call them ego snags. Oh, it needs to be this way. Oh, it didn't happen, so it's not going to happen. Oh, that's all about control. That's really what that is. And we're not in control of anything other than how we respond to things, not react.
Yeah, no, very true. Hi, Moika, good to see you here. Don't forget, everyone watching, and I can see we've got people watching. No, do say hello. If you've got any questions you want to ask, then please do ask any questions, or if you've got any observations, as Andy did, then please do come in, with those observations and questions for us. So how are you how are you working now? I mean, you had this, do you bring anything from the corporate into the work you do now? Or when you had that burnout, did you go, right, that's it, that's the end of everything I learned on the corporate side. I'm now just going to really focus on the spiritual mediumship side.
I feel like anything else in the work that I do, it's all hybrid. But I tend to resonate with a lot of women who have corporate burnout, or I would even say just relationship burnout with others, with family. And I guess the core narrative is the narcissistic piece. And that my workshop that I've taught all year, healing the trauma bond between a narcissist and an empath, has so highly resonated with so many people. But yes, of course, I have the corporate background. I have the business and marketing. So I feel how do you do that? Business is the front, party in the back. So the party in the back is the spiritual mediumship stuff. Like when I get to do group mediumship and spirit parties, ah, that's like floating on cloud nine. And that really is what I embody, is practical spirituality. Because before I became a medium, it was all about business. It was all about real, everything's real and everything is hard and everything is terrible. To everything is unicorns and rainbows. But the unicorn and rainbow Cristine was also not very practical. She was not paying her bills and she's doing like you're untethered. So I'm bringing them together because that's what happens in our spiritual journey when we become awake, when we have our spiritual awakening. Oh my God, that's the only way I want to live. Everything is magical, everything, but who's paying you have to pay there's human things you have to do because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So that's what I want to teach people, because I get it. I've been untethered, but then I've also been, uh, what's the word, blind, like just on the treadmill of, okay, am I here to just pay bills and die? No, you're actually here for a lot more. You're here for a reason. And anyone that's listening to this is, you're worthy. You don't have to do anything else. Just being yourself and being here is all that matters. And I really ignore the outside because there's a lot of noise
Oh,
out
yes.
there. So it's like you're in the chaos, but you're not. And
Yeah.
that takes practice. Chop wood, carry water. The Buddha philosophy, which I appreciate, um, is all about doing the work, but having fun at the same time. So how can you have fun? And how do you set up your day every day? Do you start with a to-do list and on the phone and 10 cups of coffee? Well, I'm going to tell you how your day is going to go. Or do you start with mindful presence, awareness, meditation, moving your body, eating well, um, decluttering as much as possible, people, places, things. That's important too. It's and I always have healing frequencies on in the background. The animals love it. I mean, I bring out my crystals, I bring out my bowls, I start chanting, and let me tell you, most people, I think most people are becoming more accustomed to this. More people are becoming curious, but animals, they never question. Kids never do. They just come in. They're like, "Oh, I love this. More of this." So you're
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and
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 for that,
smudging is huge.
yeah, and for those that don't know, when Kristine's talking about animals, she also, amongst everything else she does, she pet sits as well. So she's busy doing all the mediumship, all the online courses, the in-person stuff, and she pet sits as well. But again, I suppose in a way that for you that has helped you with decluttering, because you can't have clutter if you're pet sitting from place to place. You have to, just have the basics.
Yeah, I live out of my suitcase. And a lot of people just look at me and I love going, well, I'm homeless. And they're like, and I'm like, oh my God, I've owned multiple homes. Everyone these are basic human rights: food, shelter, and water. Oh, and safety.
Yeah.
I'm going to say four, like feeling secure and safe, which in a lot of countries, people are not.
No.
People have been generations of not feeling safe and not knowing where they're going to be. Um, So what we're being shown with all this homelessness and all this stuff is that we are homeless spiritually. We are spiritually homeless. So that's why I'm so passionate about what I do. So yeah, I sold everything in 2021. I got to travel around the world. I got to meet you in April. I mean,
I
we
know.
actually met. I traveled to the UK. I kind of went back to my roots. I have half of my roots are Scottish and Irish, and the other half are Ukrainian and Polish. So I haven't been there yet, but I got to travel to those other places, which, travel is healing. Travel is memories. Um, there are a lot of nomadic women out there too, and 50 plus. Like people are like retiring, selling everything, and living in Mexico, for example, or I don't know, Sweden. Like I know Portugal and Spain is pretty hot for sure, and South America as well. So
Yeah.
because we're taught this is how we live in Western society. Well, let me tell you, when I travel to other countries, I'm like, this is existing. This is not living. This is not living. We have been sold smoke and mirrors. You're
Yeah.
more than just here to exist. That's really what I want to impart with people. And the work that we do, including Rae and myself and others, is to have people have their aha moments, their epiphanies, and to heal. That's it.
Yeah. And to know that you are in complete control of your life. Um, nobody else is no outside influence or anything. It's you, your higher
That's
self,
right.
God, divine, whatever you want to call it. That just is.
Yeah. Yeah. You have the inner authority, always have. You just have to uninstall those old beliefs and programs and reinstall something new. And that takes practice. Building yourself up, basically, like strip everything down because you never had a solid foundation to begin with and start rebuilding. Like that's exciting. It might be scary, but nothing worth having is easy. Nothing.
Yeah. Although, so how, because obviously the narcissistic side of things,
Mm.
we all know that that is probably one of the most hardest things that anyone can actually get out of. Those type of relationships, those systems, etc. So, you know, what was the first thing that you realized that started to you that you got at that might help somebody who might be watching this?
How do you feel when you're with this person and then when you leave? That will tell you everything. That will tell if you feel drained and angry and you feel crazy. Those are red flags. What I really want to teach people is green flags. Have people that feed your energy grid. Now, I'm not saying that you're just taking, but it's a mutual, not people that are depleting your energy grid. And I get it. There's a lot of, I see it in families. There's a lot of those dynamics, right? So being aware of that and then deciding, you know what, I'm just going to pull back. And I'm going to start working on boundaries and I'm going to say them in the mirror. Hey, we've all had those conversations on the phone with somebody, someone who's guilting you and shaming you and blaming you and trying to gaslight you. You'd be like, hold on a minute. If you continue to abuse me, I'm going to hang up. If you continue to abuse me, we're no longer interacting. If you continue to abuse me, I will disappear. You can call that ghosting, but hey, I actually told you what's going on. Now it's up to you. And here's the thing, and I mean, we all have narcissistic tendencies. We're human, yes. However, there are many that have been driven by childhood. This is how they learn to get what they get and what they want, and they'll take it by any means. And they're the most charming person in the room. They have flying monkeys around them, meaning they have groupies. People are, so and so amazing. All that, like they're on this pedestal, and they love that. They have power. but until you piss them off. And that's when you really know. Like if you don't follow their program, watch out. If you're walking on eggshells around this person, watch out. If you feel a lot of tension with this person, again. And something I teach is gray rock. If it's someone at work, especially, I hear coworkers that are like that, you have no response to them, no reaction. You're just like no, nothing. You say nothing. That's very uncomfortable for them because they want you to freak out or react. And then they're like, oh, I got you. I got you again. Right. And it's a cycle. Like it's a cycle of abuse, like anything else. Um, and it, like I said, this is something that has learned. And in my workshop, I teach people that this all started in childhood, where the empath turned up their emotional. Oh, I have to take care of everybody. I have to be the caregiver. I have to be the peacemaker. I have to make sure everybody's good. Where the narcissist, like, I'm out. I could care less. And then there's that golden child, which, I'll leave a link because it is free. I have my online workshop is free on YouTube, I believe, until I think it's the 26th. I only left it open for a couple days. So, anyways.
Yeah, well, we'll take the link from that and we'll put it in the comments straight after the show, for anyone that wants to join in with that one. So again, if anyone's got any questions they want to ask or any observations they want to make, then please do let us know in the comments what you would like to ask or talk about. So, where do you see yourself going? What do you see the next steps that you feel you're being guided to actually take?
Definitely more speaking, more retreats, because people are really enjoying the in-person experiences, and that's what I'm co-creating. I have a retreat coming up in May as well. Speaking retreats, and oh yeah, I'm writing a second book, and it's all about empath and narcissist. It's something I feel called to share because the book, my first book, was all about the empath journey, the dark night of the soul, the spiritual awakening. So this is like the evolution, uh, and something I feel quite strongly about, because like I said, I feel that there's a lot of people that are like, oh, they're so narcissistic. Oh, you're a narcissist, where we're just throwing that around like it's candy. It's not candy. It's about being responsible, using your words, I statements. But if you feel like you're being bullied, I have 5 steps to shut a bully down that works for children as well. So it's more about just practicing and being kind.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
in a
no,
world of you don't know what's going on with somebody. I saw someone with a hoodie the other day and said, "You don't know my story." Yeah, when we look on the outside, oh, that person's this and that and this. No, I bet you they have an amazing life, and you have no idea. Like we can never assume, because if you do, that makes an ass out of you and me. So and I'm very much about laughing at myself as much as possible, because I'll catch myself. And I mean, we're human and we're being shown things. We're here for lessons. We're here to do something or be something. But I feel it's more of just an embodiment of the next, because we're in our 2025 is a 9 year. And the first year, like it goes from 1 to 9 on consciousness level, and the evolution started in 2017. So we're at the end of, and really it was all about the mind, the last since 2017, or since the beginning of the unholy trinity, which is religion, science, and politics. And I'm just throwing it out there. Now it's about the heart. The heart's been beaten up so much. So that's why it's all about the heart intelligence. Because I read, I think there was someone here that said, I try to be intelligent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Intelligence
that's
is,
yeah, that's
intelligence
handy.
is, you know, it's not about the IQ or going to college or no. I call it, you got, like my mom would say, you got to have book smarts. You also have to have street smarts and like social skills. And I feel we've lost that a little bit, being, since 2020, where you hear a lot of people saying, well, I don't want to be around those people, or I enjoy dogs more than people, blah, 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 blah. That actually is an alarm bell that you are hermiting too much, where you've become so disconnected from yourself, you're now disconnecting from others. We are hardwired for connection.
Yeah.
So let's not forget about that. Um, my mom would also say, "Oh, I wonder what the neighbors are doing," or we don't talk about that, and then there's gossip, right? Right? Eek. Be careful of that. That is that's kind of slithering into the darkness. And let me tell you, new level, new devil. So when you feel like you're leveling up and you're floating on a cloud, well, someone will come along and knock you off and see, okay,
Yeah. No, no.
I'm just being real. I'm just being real. I know so many people that have, um, even including myself, near-death experiences or near death. And we talked about this before we came on, that,
Mm.
the whole Deepak Chopra, he's written some amazing books. He prays every night to die well. And that's what I pray as well. Death is not scary. Death is like
No.
the beginning.
Oh, it's an adventure.
Oh, yeah,
Is your next adventure?
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what I love teaching people, is how to connect to the other side and get those messages, and know that you have a team behind you, a collective team. Only the ego would think that there's nothing higher than them, no higher power. Right? Come on. Um, and really, it comes down to belief.
Yeah.
What do you believe? And challenge any narrative. Like I said, I've always been in trouble because I would question everything. And a lot of people and places and things don't like that. Just follow
No.
along and be a good person. Be nice. No, no.
Asking questions is how we actually, get answers and find our way through life. We're designed to ask questions, because if you don't ask the question, you'll never know the answer, and if you don't know the answer, then you're blind, really, because you know it's you want to know, so you don't want to rely on what somebody else is telling you. You need to make those
Yeah,
decisions yourself.
yeah. Based on their past experiences and traumas, you
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
yeah. So how did the Oracle card deck come about?
It came about, yeah, working with, hundreds of people in readings, and um, teaching them to keep a book of signs and symbols. And why is that important? Because you need to learn the language of spirit, and spirit speaks its own individual language to people. So throughout my journey, numbers and music and animals seem to be the key. And I'm like, how can I get, in a way, it goes with the mentorship I do. How can I have a deck to complement my mentorship and to complement uh, a tool? This is a divination tool, for people to open up, because um, a lot of people are afraid of the messages they get because they fear it's wrong. So the cards will show you It's right, whatever that means, right, wrong. I don't like going into those. It's about a balance and just letting it, like a channel is just letting it come through without any attachment. Just because sometimes there's things that I've shared with people that I'm like, and like when I don't want to say that, but you have to say it in the most loving way possible. Um, so yeah, and my son is a digital artist, and I love geometry, sacred geometry. Jane 108 is probably the best person you want to learn sacred geometry from. He teaches kids. If he can teach kids, he can teach us, right?
Oh, yeah,
Because he makes it
exactly.
fun. He makes it fun. So the flower of life, this is something that he did digitally. I mean, he
Oh,
does draw
wow.
as well. And I love purple and gold. So it took years. And mainly it was about me getting over myself and thinking, oh, I don't know if I should do this. You know, your inner saboteur. Oh, who's going to buy these? Or who's going to care? Well, I cared. I just wanted to have something in a book in card form that was fun and to say that I did it. Yes. Whether it sells 5 decks, I don't care. I actually went and did it. So these are a series of, and again, with the book or with anything else you're thinking of doing, that you all of a sudden you just get this hit, this intuitive hit. You get this channeling, you get this dream, you get this insight. Oh, go do this, or go write that, or go play this, whatever that is. And you're thinking, why? We tend to talk ourselves out of that. Don't do it. Don't do it, especially for 2025. The time of procrastination is over. It's over. Just go and do the thing. I don't want any regrets, do you?
Yeah.
Because songs are messages as well. I mean, I in my readings I'll be like, well, I'm getting a lot of Beatles music. And they'll be like, well, my grandfather really loved Beatles. And then I'll get a specific song. Okay, so now go look at the lyrics. Go listen to the song. That's how you connect with the other side. Because you're like, oh yes, I'm paying attention. Or I'll get in the kitchen. Sometimes I'll smell cigarette smoke. I don't smoke. I used to, but I don't anymore. And I'm like, okay, spirit's here. What's going on? What do you want to show me? Same with the dreams. I keep a dream journal for a reason. I created a dream journal for a reason because many people don't remember their dreams, or they do, and they're quite scared of them because they become very prophetic and repeating. Well, there's messages in there. And I bring those into my readings as well because it's for other people. Most of the time, it's not for me. It's not for me.
Yeah.
Or the
Yeah.
astral travel. You know,
Oh,
I see you
yeah.
have a red piano in your house. They're like, uh, how? I was there the other night. It's all good. Or telepathy. We're all telepathic. We are all telepathic, and we all know that now. The government and all these organizations are now bringing all this stuff forward.
Oh, yeah.
Aliens and all Schumann's resonance and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff
It's
that we
just,
already knew.
yeah, it's just they're now allowing us the access to it. But yeah, no, if I hear a certain song, I know my dad's about, because that song's not played all the time, and if I was hear it, then I know my dad's about. And Andy, he says, I do think songs can help with your spiritual life. For example, the song "I'll Find My Way Home" explains a lot about going home. Such a gorgeous song. Um, yeah,
It
songs,
is.
songs,
And
songs.
it transforms your energy. And we are energetic beings. So if we can find ways to raise our vibration as much as possible, then nothing can touch you. Nothing. Only if you allow it.
Exactly. So, as you know, I normally do guided meditations or angel oracle cards, and I'll often offer my guests the choice of what they would like. But as I said at the beginning, Christine has kindly offered to do a couple of mediumship readings for a couple of viewers, and I did say that those who have been the most active, well, Andy has definitely been active in here. So Cristine, are you happy to see
Oh
what you
yeah,
got for Andy?
absolutely. Messages. I'm also going to bring a card in, just because.
Perfect.
Um, I didn't even get to shuffle, and this card just leaped out on my lap. Okay.
So Andy, listen.
Earlier today, in my 12 days of Christmas, I was doing, and I had to shuffle quite a bit. No, interesting. So I was drawn, or we have drawn the mushroom card. So fives might be very significant to you, or 5 days, 5 months from now. If you have a question, it's about illuminating, it's about health, it's about fertility. And fertility doesn't always mean children, it could be the birth of something new. So I want to read from the book first, and then we'll see what else comes in. This is a sign of good luck. And mushrooms are very symbolic of death and decay because of how they grow. It also doesn't help that many varieties of mushrooms are poisonous. So, it's just, yeah, that's interesting. So, this mushroom is symbolic of the connection you have to loved ones who have passed on. After all, mushrooms are born from death, seeing as how they grow on compost that is decaying or dead. So, yeah, mushroom is also part of many people's spiritual awakenings as well. Like there's mushroom medicine. So I don't know if you're tapping into any of that medicine as well. And it is focusing a lot on death as well. So the death of, like you've just become aware of something. I guess that's what I'm picking up on. And the death to old beliefs and systems and the birth to something new that you're being very much made aware of. And I'm saying this in the last 5 months. So five is very significant here. Um, see what else I can get out of this.
Um, yep. So Andy says, yes, I'm definitely working on a
Like
new
just
level up to speak.
yeah, like speaking your truth, stepping up, stepping forward. And I see a lot of a lot of family members stepping forward. Like there's a lot of people stepping forward. And they're showing me this motion that they're pushing. You're being pushed to do something. You're being pushed to, like you're talking about speaking up. You're being pushed to level up. Um, uh, because we didn't. I don't know who this we is, if these are folks that have passed on or people that are already in your life, because we didn't speak up. We kind of just, go with the flow. There seemed to be a lot. And then flow is different from flow. This flow is meaning not to ruffle feathers and speaking out of turn and being prim and proper. Um, yeah, very old-fashioned family values to the point of stifling who you are as a being. And they're being very specific about a being of light. And I see like a circle. I see a circle, so I don't know if you're, to me, circles indicate like a completion, like you're coming full circle, but it also means I feel like this is a community. So I don't know if you're working with other people and men specifically. There's a big community being brought forward out of tragic circumstances. I feel like there's been a lot of tragedy in your life. A lot of people have fallen victim to tragic circumstances. Well, that's very interesting message. Okay. And as a medium, I tend to look off. So don't be thrown off by that, because that's how I work. Either I'm looking right or I'm looking left. Now, right, I pick, I assign where spirit lays, meaning if it's on your mom's side, your mom would be on the right side. If it's on the left side, that would be your dad. If I'm holding something, that's a baby. Animals will appear at your feet, but this is all seems to be on your mom's side, all right side, because that is where I'm looking. So, and then if you want to go into yin and yang principles, leaning more into the yin, to your right side, to the mother, to the heart. to the spirituality, which you're already had indicated. So, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay.
Um, and Andy
So
says, I got
that's
my own community, and yes, there has been a lot of tragedy. So thank you
mm,
for verifying that, Andy. And the only other person who's really been interacting, even though I know we've had several people watching, is Mwaka. So can you pick up anything for Mwaka? She is female.
yeah, I kind of picked that up. Um, and I honestly, I feel like Milwaukee has a specific question. And if she has a question, please make it an open-ended question. I don't answer yes or no because you have free will. And well, actually, it's God's will. But because we're here on earth, it tends to be free will. Anyways, I'm seeing what's coming through for a card first. Oh, that's cute. Really. Number 12, gnome spirit. Earth elementals. So we're looking at number 12. 1 and 2 is 3. Ones and twos may be significant for you. 3 for me is an indication of mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, spirit. So you're embodying this clearly. Earth elemental. Gnomes are a symbol of grounding and stability. A gnome is known to be a protector and guide, a deflector of pests. Pests can come in all shapes and sizes. They create a defensive atmosphere which will ward off negative energy that may want to affect you. So this gnome will also create the atmosphere that attracts good luck into your life. So, gnome.
Yeah.
Yeah, now see, I'm wanting to look. First, I wanted to look right. Now I'm looking left. Interesting that gnome came up. I also feel like this is a symbol of home. So I feel home is very important to you. Home in mind, home in body, home in spirit. There's been a change of homes. Because I'm seeing like an exchange of keys happening. Um, Now, I don't know if you're here, if you happen to watch this on the replay, but I'm getting like a father figure stepping forward. So this could be a father, a grandfather, an uncle, a brother that has passed. Um, he's showing, like I said, he's showing me a home. So I feel like this is what this question is about a home. Like, where am I living? Where am I going? Am I at home? Am I at peace? I'm getting messages. I'm feeling like, and I'm being shown either a plus symbol or a cross. So this could be an indication of religion as well. But I'm also seeing an X. So when I see an X, that means, something has stopped. We don't do that here anymore. I'm renouncing this, whatever this is. I don't know what this is. I'm renouncing, denouncing, I'm reputing. It's quite the energy. Like, I guess it stops with you is what I'm picking up. Um, hmm. And I'm being shown the head a lot. So either this invokes overthinking, overanalyzing, um, a head injury of some type, or it could also pertain to Alzheimer's as well. So, like I said, for me not to get any more information from you or confirmation, because really that's what spirit does is deliver through me, and then we get confirmations. And I don't need to know your whole life story because that really ruins it. I always go in blind. And yes, green seems to be very important because I'm looking at this vase. You can't see it, but it's really, really tall and it's invoking a lot of green. And green for me is picking up health and vitality um, and healing. So that's what I've got so far.
Yep. Oh, so there. So Wacker says, well, I've been seeing a lot of ones and twos and threes, been homesick, desiring to relocate. Dad passed on.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, I don't know if it was the head or if that's your head that I'm picking up how he passed. how he passed on. I'm also picking up, like, I'm a medical intuitive, so when I do readings as well, I'll pick up someone's medical stuff or someone else's medical stuff, and I'm picking up a lot of pain, like in the shoulder area, like the top here, the neck, and that indicates that you're carrying a lot of weight. You're carrying other people's, there's a lot of baggage and you need to drop it. And I think that's why your dad is coming in. It's not yours to carry anymore. And I'm also hearing you don't need to pay the price anymore. It's been paid. So that tells me like there's this intergenerational stuff and you're like the chain breaker and it ends with you. It stops with you. Um, and he says you have something of his. He's showing me something. And I wanted to say it was a watch, but that's not what I almost feel like it's a chain or it's a necklace or it's something that you can wear that was his or was given to you that makes you think about him all the time. So um yeah.
Yeah, beautiful.
And then who has the blue eyes as well? Like there's something very specific with the eyes too. Okay.
Okay, beautiful. And Andy did say that a lot of his mum's side has passed away, and he thanks you very much appreciated.
Mhm.
And Mwaka says, I'm the only awake in my family, had a brain and skull injury caused by a road traffic accident.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, so thank you so much, Christine, for that. That was absolutely amazing. And I'm going to do you a card, Christine, and everyone watching
Oh, thank you.
because you've done a because you did those reading for us, so you deserve something as well. So, what does Christine and everyone who's watching this who didn't get a message need to know for their highest good at this moment? Oh, okay, we'll go with that one. And absolutely perfect for this time of year, and technically ties in with what you've been talking about, Christine. Solitude in silence, peace prevails.
Yes. I love my solitude.
Yeah, so so for you, Christine, it is, the confirmation that the solitude, that the silence, peace, it's not just the that peace prevails in the silence, but it is also, confirming that that's where you get your inspiration, your ideas from, that being connected to who you truly are, being able to talk your talk, and walk your path that you're supposed to be walking, and that solitude you have created around you is absolutely, been work it's like it's put a golden light around you, that allows you to shine and be seen, um,
Mhm.
which, and the fact that you've got the light coming in today, which is just absolutely, really lit you up. And for everyone watching, again, if you want to tap into your intuition, and all that thing, solitude, silence, when you silence your mind, you silence the outside noise, that's when you get the inner peace, the inner knowing, the actual guidance coming through. So if you get a chance, take that time to have that peace to yourself, and just see what develops and what comes out of it. So I'm actually really quite pleased that card actually came out today. So that
Oh
was
yeah,
good.
the cards are always right. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
they're always
never question the
no.
cards. Mwaka says yes, spinal injury, uh, back pain, and she has nothing of her dad, unfortunately, other than memories.
Well, yeah, I feel it's in the family though. Somebody has something. So,
Yeah,
and we tend to have when we have readings, psychic amnesia, meaning if your mom made you tomato soup every day for lunch and I say tomato soup to you, you're like, I don't know. And then I get a message days, oh, I know what you mean now. Oh, anyways,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
fine because we bring a lot of our stuff to readings. There's so much energy going on, right? It's so many layers and things that need to come forward. And yeah, no, I'm happy to, and I love the fact that you said peace and solitude because that's where all the golden nuggets are. Yesterday, I saw a bald eagle.
Oh, wow.
Last time I saw one was in 2020, and it was on Vancouver Island, way far away from here. For me, that's the creator. Actually, I have the eagle in my deck. I mean, that's God. That's God speaking to me. Anyways,
Yeah. When I was actually over in Canada, or when back in June, yeah, I saw a couple of bald eagles, and they're just, oh my God,
yeah,
it's just,
it's awe-inspiring. And I heard the screech first, and I was like, "Oh, that is an eagle." Like, what? Anyways, so yeah, no, and I'm glad you got to visit Canada as well. That's amazing.
yes, yeah, it was, yeah. Canada is absolutely amazing, you know, an absolute beautiful place, and I got to visit quite a lot of places. So, Cristine, do you have any insights or thoughts or last words of wisdom to leave our viewers?
Oh my gosh. Do the thing. Whatever it is, go and do it. Live inspired, live creatively, live childlike. Um, yeah, because many of us do not get the gift of life, meaning if you're hearing this and seeing this, you woke up today. So be grateful. Gratitude is everything. It's a magnet for all possibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the one thing I do every night before I go to bed. I list what I'm grateful for, you know, from waking up to missing the rain if it's come down, you know, all little things like that. So I hope everyone that you've enjoyed this conversation and found it insightful, because I know I definitely have. So if people want to connect with you, Cristine, how do they do that? And do you have anything coming up in the near future? And any free gifts or offers to share? I know you did mention a free gift earlier that you've got till the 26th.
Yeah. Well, I have over 950 videos on YouTube. So if there's something you want to learn about or know about, just go there. There's lots. And then, of course, my podcast, Heart Led Soul Fed. I have, yeah, quite a few things. I'm teaching animal communication. I teach people to become certified as a Reiki master, which is important. I feel if you know how to own your own energy and know what your chakras are and what that feels like and really dive into that, then you heal yourself, then you can go and heal others. And if you don't want to, that's fine. I also have I'm doing like a sober oki, something local, karaoke without the alcohol. And then we're also doing hydrotherapy evening because really believe in the power of cold plunge, especially for people that have issues with anxiety and depression. It really shakes you up. So I'm leading people through that, but I'm also hosting my first retreat in May 22nd to the 26th called the Soul Healers Retreat in beautiful Waterton National Park. I love the mountains, always have. And then I'm going to have a future retreat coming up in Peru because I've been to Machu Picchu. That's coming up in October. So, and anything you want to find, you can just go to my website, Cristine.gold, or follow me on Facebook, Instagram at Medium Cristine Gold.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I'll put the links directly into the comments. Yeah, and I've been to Machu Picchu too, and yeah, Peru is just,
Yeah.
yeah, there are no words
No, it's
to describe it.
otherworldly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it totally is. So thank you so much, Cristine. And of course, to anyone who may be watching, you know, I'd love to invite you to a free live 20-minute soul discovery one-to-one video call with me, where during our time together, we'll pull a couple of angel oracle cards to gain clarity on what's happening in your life right now and what guidance your higher self or the angels may have for you. And if you feel called, I can also share how we could work together, whether through past life regression to heal deep seated patterns, future life progression to reveal your most aligned path, or angelic Reiki for transformative healing at every level of your being. You know, this is your opportunity to heal deeply, connect with your soul's gifts, and step confidently into the life that you were always meant to live. So let's start this powerful journey together. And again, thank you everyone so much for watching. Thank you, Andy and Mawaka, for being brave enough to join in and say hello. And Mawaka says, extremely grateful to for you,
Mm,
Cristine. Yep, thank
welcome.
you. Thank you so, so much. And again, you know, thank you everyone who's watching. I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more people who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny, just like you. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button to be notified when the show goes live. You know, check out my other show, the Oracle Card Meditation, Your Weekend Reset, which goes out live every Friday at 3 p.m. UK time, or when I post my new guided meditations. Remember, every time you like, share, comment, subscribe to anything I do, Cristine does, or any of my guests do, it really helps get our message out there. You know, it builds that community. It's, you know, that spider web, that butterfly effect, and more people can be uplifted on their journey, and you can be part of allowing that to happen. And I look forward to you all joining me, same time, same place next week. Take care, everyone. Bye.